Whether it is written in the Bible or in history's pages, or even through the stories of people today, there is one thing that is true about God, is that He is in the business of restoration. As the author of hope, when people respond to His love, grace, and mercy, they become empowered by the freedom with Christ, and God begins to release strongholds and break shackles and addictions as we enter God's love. And all it takes is one encounter of His love for that to come to you. And I was reminded by this in my travels overseas. The first example was when I went to Thailand as I visited the elephant sanctuary, which was a sanctuary where all the elephants were victims of torture, slavery, and being broken for the sake of tourism activities. Some of them suffered broken backs, legs, bodies, and most of all broken spirits, as they were submitted to these horrible acts of the human nature. But in this elephant sanctuary, these elephants were freed and able to roam around in peace in the beautiful, wide, vast grasslands and being fed by the humans. And they were able to recuperate their wounds. It was just like when we respond to God's grace, we enter a life of freedom. Of whatever our past may have been, we enter a beautiful place with God, a new journey. Even when I visited Malaysia, I heard of a story of a man who robbed Tesco, which is one of the biggest chain supermarkets going around that sells anything and everything. This man came from a poor family and wanted to provide for them, so he robbed the Tesco and he got caught. Should have been put in jail, but luckily, the man who owned this Tesco store came up to him and realized what the issue was behind this man's intention to rob the store. And he said he gave him a job and an opportunity to provide for his family through hard work. And today this man is still working and provided for his family and stealing no more. Because the man was able to show him grace and understand the situation that he was in and able to provide for that. In the same way, God reaches out to us in grace and gives us an opportunity of a new lease, a new start, thanks to His grace and mercy. I also visited Hamilton Gardens in New Zealand, a beautiful lush garden that I've never seen before. They had different themes, different layouts, different plans. But what really intrigued me was that it used to be the town's rubbish dump. It was just rubbish of landmass everywhere. But now it's been transformed into a beautiful garden because it took time to get rid of the dump. It took time to plant in the right seeds and the right planting and also nurture and water them. And now it's today one of the most beautiful botanical gardens in the world. In the same way, God takes time to remove the dump of rubbish in our lives so that we can be restored. All these three stories ring true to the fact that God is in the business of restoration. We can turn to the Bible and see in Luke chapter 19, 1 verse 10 of the story of Zacchaeus the tax collector. Now Zacchaeus was a man who stole from his people. So when he would count the money, count the tax, he would take some for himself. There was one day when Jesus was coming into town, and Zacchaeus was so short that he could see above the crowd. So he climbed up a sycamore tree, and Jesus actually stopped under the tree and looked up and saw Zacchaeus, and he knew him by name. So Zacchaeus, come down. I'm going to eat at your house tonight. And we don't know what was said during the dinner, but what we understand was that Jesus' presence transformed this man's life. Because at the end of it all, he was saying, look, Jesus, whatever I've done wrong, I'm going to give back even more. Let me right my wrongs. And you can see that Zacchaeus had been changed and transformed by God because God is in the business of restoration. And the funny thing is, the Pharisees were quick to judge and condemn him because he was a man of sin. As we could be too quickly to act, to condemn, or to judge, when we've got to understand that behind the person, there is a story, there is a situation, there is a past, there is a battle, there is a problem that has led to where they are today. And they are in need of restoration. And wherever you are today, God is calling out to you. He's still wanting to reach out to you where you are. And He's wanting to bring you out of the life of where you are today and restore you to the life that He's called you to be. How do I know this? Because I've experienced it myself. As I look back to all the decisions that I've made, all the foolishness that I've done, And if it wasn't for the grace of God, I would be in the dumps. So I know today I'm here because of God's love, grace, and mercy. And I know He wants the same for you. It's written in every page of the Bible of His love, of the story of Him reaching out to mankind. God is in the business of restoration. What are you waiting for?